This is CASSIUS for iFL TV in association with Matchman's Gym Marbella. We're in Hull here for the final press conference for Rumble on the Humber.
Rumble on the Humber.
With me,
Rumble baby, Humber. Do you think Michael Buffer should say, let's get ready to rumble on the Humber, or is that cringe?
Have you employed Michael Buffer as a member of the Matchman staff now?
No, but I just think he's quality.
He's
quality. Love it. I think it just gives a big event feel.
Have you done like a certain fight deal with him?
No. Do you want to negotiate that for me?
No, but he's doing
very
a lot.
expensive.
Can you imagine? No, I know exactly how much Buffer is.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable.
Buffer does alright.
Does good.
Says 3 words and pretty much goes home.
Yeah.
Press conference here today. There's some nice subplots on this bill this week. Apart from
subplots.
Yeah, apart from Campbell and Coyle.
The Jones
Rose
fight
thing's interesting,
especially with Bobby Rimmer giving a little bit today. Of course, Abel Sanchez flown in as well for the fight. Carson looks very confident, looks well, but so does Brian. He has to win the fight. Rose has to win on Saturday.
There's always the danger, isn't there, of suffering like quite a devastating defeat, but we saw what happened with David Price and Tony Thompson, and then wanting to jump straight back in the ring with them. There's always a... Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I think so, but I think, the stage that Brian's at in his career, he can't be coming back with like an 8-rounder or a 10-rounder. He's, he believes that he was in control in the fight, and he believes he can beat Carson Jones, so he's got to do it. But like I said, Carson looks very, very confident.
The other subplot I was talking about is this is really the start of the Anthony Joshua and Dylan White story, isn't it? With him fighting in Hull.
He's a good talker, Dylan, isn't he?
Yeah, and
I like him. He's got a big personality.
When did you know he was being trained by Jonathan Banks? Because I didn't.
I didn't either. It's all been a bit hush hush.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted to keep it from me, so I didn't let Anthony and his team know. But this is the first bit. I hope he wins. By the way, he's fighting Costa Jr. We saw a Price fight. He should deal with him, but he's a big banger, Costa Jr. And he was giving it to Dylan. He gave it to Dylan at the press conference. I know Dylan's top lip was quivering a little bit. When.
All right, Dylan.
So he's up for it, and I guess the pressure more is about looking good. And I know he won't say it, but in terms of justifying his position as Anthony's opponent, it doesn't need to justify it because the board have ordered it. But I guess we want to build that fight as big as possible, and if he looks great, then that's going to help to do so.
Absolutely. Coyle Campbell. If you're watching this interview and you haven't seen the Tommy Coyle and Daddy Coyle interview I'm about to put out, then I need maybe...
Are you actually going to put that out?
I'm going to actually put that out. I might have to put a little warning sensor at the start of it, but we can't keep Daddy Cole's mouth shut for too long. Fight sold itself. There didn't really have to be too much.
There wasn't today, was there?
No.
I'll just clear something up. People think, we're trying to create this fake rivalry. Never said they don't like each other. No, sorry. Never said they don't hate each other. Have I said they don't like each other? Probably. I don't think they do. I hear it from both of them, like for the last year. What's he doing? Who's he fighting? So they've spent a lot of time together over the years. They don't talk on the phone. They don't text each other. They don't go out for a beer. They don't phone each other up and see how each other's getting on. So they definitely ain't friends. And of course, in this fight, there's been things that have come out that have wound them up. But what you saw today was kind of talking's over. Do you know what I mean? We don't need to sell it. We're doing very well at the box office. So it's just going to be a great fight, and they can just channel their emotions on the world title eliminator that awaits on Saturday night.
And you've bought the weather, correct? You've purchased the weather.
Well, I spoke to him, and
weather bids. You won.
And it's going to be sunny. The Met Office is telling me it's going to be sunny. So I thought it was quite funny. Someone tweeted Jamie Moore and said, "What happens if it rains on Saturday?" And he replied, "We'll get soaking piss wet with rain." or something. So no, I think we'll be okay.
Ringside people will be all right anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that matters. Should have paid up.
Right, first of all, fantastic news today that Anthony Crolla has been granted his rematch against CROLLA-PEREZ. You've got 120 days to negotiate that fight.
Not to negotiate, to make the fight.
To make the fight, sorry.
Which is fine. I mean, end of November, something like that. So.
Have you already started talking to them?
Yeah, I was talking to them on the Sunday after the fight. So obviously with them ordering the rematch, it puts us in a little bit of a better position to negotiate. So it's been the last few days, it's been waiting, you know, to see what the decision will be. I woke up this morning to an email from the WBA's lawyers to confirm that, and just I saw a tweet from the guy who works for Warren, Jason, is it saying it's not been ordered the rematch. The resolution quite clearly states Perez must fight Anthony Crolla within 120 days after the WBA decided through the controversy of the result that the rematch will be ordered. So he's got to fight him. And Derry Matthews must fight Ismael Barroso in a defence of his interim title. The winner of Barroso-Matthews can fight the winner of Perez again.
Can or will have to fight the winner?
Will have to fight.
Yes.
Will be the mandatory to fight the winner. So, right. But not just be the mandatory, we'll have to fight the winner next.
Yeah.
That's what the resolution states. So that'll be, I don't know, March, April, something like that. So that's the situation. Great decision from the WBA. I think it was really important that they made the decision, not just for Anthony Crolla's career, but for the integrity of the sport. A lot of people felt, well, everybody felt that Crolla won the fight. It would have been easy for them to bury their head in the sand and say, no, actually, we're fine with the result. But they didn't. They said the result was wrong. And Crolla will get another shot at the world title.
How did the Perez team feel about this?
I think they're quite happy because they're going to get another big payday. I don't think that, you know, they felt that, you saw their reaction after the final bell. They felt they lost the fight, but they weren't over the moon with a 2 points deduction. When I spoke to Alex Campanova and Gary Shaw, they felt the first one was okay, but the second one wasn't. So I gave the fight to Crolla regardless of the point deductions. I think most people did, but I felt that those point deductions guaranteed him the win. He did it Crolla low, probably a dozen times during the fight. So, but I've got a good relationship with Alex Campanova and Gary Shaw. They're more than happy to come back to the UK for the rematch, and we'll get that closed off over the next few days.
So that fight will 100% happen in the UK?
Not 100%, and in case something crazy comes up and Perez wants to offer us a load of money to go to Colombia, but the most money for Perez in that fight is, of course, back in Manchester.
But you're confident that fight?
I'm confident.
Okay. Well, listening to what you're trying to plan.
But I was confident that Andre Durrell would come to the UK.
Correct.
To fight James DeGale. I lost that purse bid, but
by about $1 million.
Yeah. Cheers for that. So I'm confident. We get on well. We're having good chats, and we'll see what ensues.
Right. You had a meeting with Amir Khan.
Yeah, I didn't realise that was going to become public domain.
Can you tell me how this came about?
When he came to the anti-Crolla show, I was going to put him on my row, quite close to Brook, and he ended up going into a box. So he told someone to tell me to go up and see him. But obviously this was just before the Quigg fight and didn't work out. So I texted him and said, I missed you, but let's chat. So he said to come up to Bolton. I did. We had a couple of hours talking about his next move, Kel's next move, and of course the fight, and how we can build this fight and how we can make it happen. And
did you come away from that meeting with a positive vibe that something will be sorted out for next year?
Listen, Amir's always told me that the fight will happen. But obviously as time drags on, people want to see it sooner rather than later. I'd love to make the fight in November, December. That's not going to happen. He'll fight in November, December, and Kel will fight at the end of October. But he wants to make this fight as big as possible. So do we, obviously. He wants Kel to fight some bigger names. He will. But I think we can collectively work towards a fight in the summer. You know, of course, if Kel gets Mayweather or Amir gets Mayweather, that's going to take priority. But I don't think we can plan our career on that basis.
You're talking about for next May?
Yeah, obviously not for September. But it remains the biggest fight for the pair of them. But as we've seen before, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to get made.
Brook opponent?
What? Who is it?
No, not who is it, but what's going on?
Probably maybe end of next week.
How many people are you talking to?
5.
5 different opponents?
Well, not, I mean, that we've offered the fight to 5 different people.
Does one of them include Brandon Rios still?
No.
No. Out the equation?
Yeah. Okay. Unless he wants to fight. I mean, you know, like I said before, we made an offer. We improved their offer. I think Top Rank they didn't ask us for any more money. We talked about the rematch. We said if Brandon was to win, we'd come to America for the rematch. I think it just come down to, I don't think Brandon fancied the fight. Nothing wrong with that. I just think he thought, you know what, there's probably easier fights over here, and I'll take one of them instead. He hasn't boxed since, what, February, March? And they're still looking for a fight. But I think everyone's looking at similar kind of opponents, you know. And when you look at the welterweight division, who realistically is available for Khan and Brook?
Right now?
Yeah, but I mean, don't be unrealistic and say like Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, he's fighting Malignaggi. He's not going to come to the UK in October until we make that fight. Until I make Kell Brook a real household name, because then we can pay him the money. So that kind of circle: Rios, Provodnikov, Chavez, Algieri, Alexander. Porter's kind of out of that now. He's had a good win. Do you know what I'm saying though? There's like 8 or 9. Colazzo, he's kind of left that circle. Guerrero, I guess he's kind of in the mix for that. So they're the kind of names. Mosley, no. They're the kind of names that are floating around. It's not Van Heerden and it's not Bundu.
That's what I was going to ask you.
No, it's not those guys. Nothing against
those. I think that's just come from the interview I did with Amir Khan where
I woke up one morning, everyone was going, I can't believe they're fighting Van Heerden or Bundu. What are you doing? I was like,
I think that come from the Khan interview.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't see that, but yeah.
Okay. Quigg-Frampton saga goes on. I read a lot of it now on SkySports.com actually. What is going on?
Nothing really. I spoke to Al Heyman's team about the fight a little bit. Carl Frampton went on TalkSport the other day and said we all need to get in a room and try and make this fight, or something to that effect. And I thought, I couldn't agree with you more. So I emailed Jake McGuigan and said, just heard Carl Frampton's interview. I can't agree more. Let's get in a room. And he said, I'll come back to you. And that was a couple of days ago, so I'm sure he'll come back and hopefully we'll have a meeting next week.
Are you going to offer a 2 fight?
No, you know what? That got blown out of proportion. Someone said to me, where do you want the fight? I said, well, if the fight happens in the winter, it has to happen in Manchester. But if they want, they can have a 2-fight deal to guarantee that we do a big Belfast fight as well. That's all that was said. And then Carl said, I don't need 2 fights. I said, all right, I just think that it's a huge payday twice for you guys. And it's a great fight twice.
But he said that he doesn't have a problem with coming to Manchester,
no, he doesn't.
Does he?
But when the media say to me, oh, what about Belfast? I say, we can't do that in the winter. But if they want to go to Belfast, I don't mind including
outdoor, you can't go outdoor.
No, you can't. No, 9,000, it's Odyssey. But Frampton, we'd give Frampton half the Emian and Quigg the other half. And it would be a wonderful atmosphere.
And just to clear up something else you didn't say, because you said it in my interview, you said that about Quigg's position in the negotiations or whatever. You just said that he's in a better position than he was previous to the Martinez fight.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think unless you're a moron, you have to agree on the same position. Scott Quigg's stock has risen significantly since the Martinez fight. So it's difficult for me to go back on my offer and say to Scott Quigg, oh, now that your stock's risen, you need to take less. But, you know, I said on BBC last night, someone's ego is going to have to drop for this fight to be made. Might be mine, might be Scott Quigg's, might be Barry McGuigan, might be Carl Frampton, but someone's got to give. It's all very well them sitting there saying, we want this. Well, but I'm making all the offers and I'm putting the money up. So, you know, do I go back to Scott and say, if you want this fight, you've got to take less money? But then it's difficult after his performance. Or does Barry go to Scott and say, listen, I think you win this fight. There's a huge amount of money on the table. a few percent less, what are we talking about, 100 grand? Could get this fight made. And that's, I'm not just saying that's what they've got to do, I'm saying it's both sides. So at some point, and this happens in all negotiations, someone is going to have to swallow a little bit of pride to get the fight made.
Everyone's gone.
I know.
I think someone's waiting for an interview for you up there. Okay, I don't think... Was there anything else? Just what I want to talk to you about. Brook, QUIGG-FRAMPTON, Rumble on the Humber, Crawler. Is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. If you think of anything, you can always get me in a car home. I'll be with you for 4 hours.
Yeah. If not, I can get you at the weigh-in tomorrow.
Correct.
Just trying to think. Alright, well listen, there's a guy waiting for you there. So, Eddie and thanks to Apple TV and catch up with you soon.
Will do.
Who's that? Al.